Hello everyone, Umber Rays here to talk about a banner that I haven't talked about yet. Normally I'm much more on time with these banner reviews, but a couple things happened. First of all, this weekend, it was kind of more important that I got the news out about the global. Obviously, a lot of people feel like they got really hard duped by just, you know, Gummy's last minute changes. And the last minute changes I referred to as a nerf at the time. A nerf is probably not the correct term. On the other hand, it does feel dirty enough that I don't really want to put a good terminology on it. I guess I still got to rename that video to just how Gummy fucked up or fucked everyone up. But anyway, yeah. So this banner is coming, or banner review is coming a little bit late, but it's fine. It's totally fine, and we're also going to talk about the new Cafe Charlotte today. So let's do that. Because when it comes to banners that aren't summon fests anymore, wow, do they just kind of end up being fine or okay? That is the description that I could best give this banner. It's not bad. It's not great. It's just fine. It's adequate. It is okay. It is not a Summon Fest unit. Therefore, it is not as powerful, but Cloud of Darkness isn't bad. Cloud of Darkness is a perfectly competent, good mage, and more importantly, she can be UOC'd. UOCs, as it turns out, are still somewhat valuable, as I have found out in my arena adventures this week. And that's a different video though. So let's talk about Cloud of Darkness. First of all, taking a look at her animations. This is a character I think that some people have definitely been waiting for. So, of course, she's got her big, giant doom ray. And, she kind of actually falls into the vein of Ultima. I like her design. And that's not just because she's overly sexual. I just like the floating, menacing, darkness power. Honestly, the villains are cool. That victory animation could use some work. What does she look like when she's dead? Oh, she doesn't float when she's dead. It's also very weird to see a villain knocked out. Anyway, let's talk about Cloud of Darkness. Now, Cloud of Darkness is a mage and when I say she's just, not very exciting, it's because recently on JP, Chaos Wave has taken over all mages almost, and there's just less exciting things to consider when you're looking at them. So, Trust Mastery here is pretty nice. It is a 20% HP, 55 magic accessory. Good for any mage, because as we all know, mages usually don't have a ton of HP, so this is a good statted accessory. Most mages can hit the magic cap fairly easily. Sorry, got to stretch a bit. So, yeah, this is perfectly good. Still high magic power, but also gives some survivability to a lot of mages. And anybody who's using CG Darkvina, who everyone knows she already has a ton of HP, this just helps her even more. So, great. Super Trust Mastery, also pretty nice too. 60% magic with a 50% magic damage killers versus beast, humans, and spirits. Spirits, obviously great, usually since magic-based creatures, the fights you want to use magic on are usually spirits anyway. And humans is always going to be relevant. So long as, we're in a game where humans are the main characters, yeah, this will be good. And beasts, there are some potential uses for beasts too. So Super Trust Master-wise, I give this a pretty good thumbs up. Click out of there. Now, Limit Burst. Limit Burst, let's just talk about that. Get that out of the way real quick. 2-turn self, 200 magic per damage versus humans. So her Limit Burst is really to power up the rest of her abilities too. And, a 200% magic versus humans is pretty darn big. 1350 AoE 12 hit magic attack, ignoring 50% spirit. So it's definitely a strong Limit Burst. It also gives Quadracast for a single turn, which is a little short, but I guess you want to keep this Limit Burst going fairly often because that, especially if you're against humans, 200% magic damage boost versus humans is really nice. Quite a few trials that is relevant for. Now, looking at her stats, I gotta say, stats pretty nice. Obviously focused in magic, fairly decent spirit, not so great in defense. HP is actually pretty good. Yeah, HP is pretty good. Yeah, I mean, a 219 is not the highest magic stat we've ever seen, but I think it is perfectly good here. Something where Cloud of Darkness falls flat, though, is in just equipment. Equipment-wise, you know, obviously weapons, I think she's fine for what she can equip for weapons. Armor, though, is very limited, just absolutely very limited, and that's probably going to be one of the weak points for her. To be fair, the sprite doesn't really say that she wears a lot anyway. So, looking at her passives are actually a pretty short list this time. You know, it is just pretty short. I mean, but she has some good stuff in there that helps her out. For one thing, she has a 50% chance to be detargeted, or not be targeted. Detargeted? Wonder if that's okay. She has limit burst increasers, 7% MP per turn, equipment increases for equipping a rod, and she actually has guts in her kit, which is pretty interesting. So long as her HP is above 1%, she has a 100% chance to ignore one fatal attack. For a mage, this is really good. This is good to have. Absolutely. She has natural W cast. She can get triple cast by equipping her own TMR. Her own TMR is good anyway. 20% defense. And she either gets 50% for either true dual handing or dual wielding. She has no true dual, or she doesn't have dual wield natural in her kit, so if you're going to go that route with her, then you have to equip it yourself. However, if you got the twin Finas, then their TMR would work good here. Good here. Okay. That's what I chose to go with for phrasing. Anyway, she has her base magic attacks, which have a chance to either charm, confuse, paralyze, or blind, depending on which element you kind of go with. The charm one's kind of interesting for arena, maybe. Although it's all of those are single, most of them are AoE, except the charm one. The charm one, which is this guy right here, is single target. Too bad. If it was... Wow, okay, if it was AoE, it was probably going to be too strong, but there are lots of units with charm immunity now, so... Gotta look up here. She's not naturally charm immune. You can charm Cloud of Darkness, boys. Anyway, go get her. Then we get into the meat of her kit, which is basically all Chaos Wave chaining. She is another Chaos Wave chainer, and I'm not going to say this is bad, I'm just going to say that this is a tiny bit uninteresting because, you know, we've just seen so many Chaos Wave chainers, and it's a little flat for me to just be like, okay, well, it's another one. And again, she completes more elemental options out there. She has Darkness, she has Thunder, and she has Wind. Each of these also give a 20% bonus to magic damage versus humans in her mid-level ones. This is, you know, again, pretty interesting. They also debuff for their respective element, so that's pretty good, 80%. And AoE, not stacking damage though. We'll get to the stacking damage ones later. And this has a extra 62% sorry, it's 62 MP, and it is a magic attack to a specific type of enemy. I do believe humans. Just extra damage versus them. Okay, maybe a different type of ability Alum's testing out. And then in her 7-star kit, that's where we get into her big, meaty, damaging abilities. These are all 500 base AoE 5-hit Chaos Wave chains that add 250% for a max 1750. Pretty darn strong, especially if you're against a human for obvious reasons. And in her 7-star kit, she also has a 78 MP ability that gives her 1 turn self 75% magic damage versus humans, and hits for Chaos Wave chaining, so it's non-elemental. That's pretty nice, and it ignores Spirit too on this, and it's backloaded. So this probably is your main damage deal versus humans, although I would be curious to see how it stacks versus elemental damage. And last of her abilities is her cooldown. Her cooldown 6-turn cooldown. For 4 turns, she gets a 200 magic boost. She also learns Quadracasting for 4 turns. You'll be using this ability a fair bit. And it gives an AoE 4-turn debuff to Thunder, Wind, and Darkness, her main elements, by 100%. So, yeah, Cloud of Darkness is flat, straight, just a solid mage. Where she fits in on the mage power chain right now, she is basically a budget version for CG Darkfina, in that she has a lot of HP, she has pretty good stats all around, she has high magic damage, but she might be interesting versus humans. CG Darkfina is definitely, I would say, more overall powerful, but Cloud of Darkness could be a specialty damage dealer for mages. What's more interesting is that it's just humans, but humans, again, is the most broad category that we usually see bosses end up. So I do think Cloud of Darkness is pretty good. I just don't think that she's amazing. I mean, if you're like me, you're probably waiting for the next CG banner, or the next Summon Fest banner. We'll talk about that in another video. And the other character I want to talk about that is not available technically yet, I don't believe that you can go get her until the 25th of April. I do believe that's when it starts. Interestingly, that's also when Marvel Avengers Endgame starts. Methinks a trip to the city is in order for all of this. But anyway, today we're also going to be talking about Cafe Charlotte. Now, Cafe Charlotte can be only gotten by attending the Square Enix cafes here in Japan, the ones I am aware of. I'm not sure if there are any others, but there's one in Tokyo, there's one in Osaka, and those are the 2 that I am aware of that are running this promotion. And if you spend over 2,500 yen on the food there, then you get a free code to get Cafe Charlotte and 7-star. Although I don't know if you spend 5,000 yen if you get 2 per one person. I don't know if there's a limit on it. This music's also really good for me just looking around at something. Let's go over here. Oh yeah, we gotta talk about Golden Week too. Don't worry, we'll get to Golden Week. I have a lot to say about Golden Week. Nah, it doesn't look like anything is posted in the game yet, which... Anyway, so let's talk about Cafe Charlotte. Cafe Charlotte is an exclusive unit that you can only get from a special promotion for now. I don't know if she'll be added to the game later. I guess we'll find out. But TMR, close, female only, 500 HP, 100 MP, 40 defense, 40 spirit, recovers 5% MP per turn, and 20% HP. Super fantastic TMR. Gonna be really just, wow, absolutely amazing TMR. That is an incredibly strong TMR for any of the ladies, and if you use a lot of ladies, then this is just really good. I think it would be absolutely amazing on a healer or a tank, so great news. Super TMR, 60% spirit boost, 40% MP, and 100% ice and light resistance. Man, Charlotte really loves ice and light. Again, this is just a really strong super TMR. That's great on a mage, that's great on a mage. It's great on a healer. It's great on basically any character if you're trying to survive a lot of magic damage. So yeah, very strong, unsurprising, and now we'll talk about the rest of her. She has a pretty good equipment set, you know, daggers, swords, rods, flails. She can equip any kind of shield. She has good armor options. Looking at her stats, magic and attack is pretty weak. Defense is just okay. Definitely doesn't feel any strong. 168 base. To put that just in a bit of comparison, you know, New Cloud of Darkness only has 168.5, so really not that much better. 50 points put into each stat. Her spirit is pretty good at 213, though, so, you know, it's something. Limit Burst, maxed out 7-star, 36 crystals. AoE, remove attack, defense, magic, and spirit debuffs. AoE, 3-turn, 170% to all stats. And an AoE 3-turn, 3000 HP barrier. So it's basically kind of paints you the picture of who Cafe Charlotte is. She has now become a buffer. Support unit. Okay, alright. She has Raise in her kit. She is Charm immune. She has passives for all the good stuff, you know, HP, MP, Defense, Spirit. Natural Ice Resistance, 5% MP per turn. Natural Light Resistance, W casting of her abilities, equipping her own TMR, gets her Spirit. MP, 100% chance to ignore one fatal attack when her HP is above 1%. Defense, extra boost, and a little bit of a limit burst fill rate, which is good because you're probably going to want to spam her limit burst. Her kit is basically some interesting stuff. One of the ones I really like, though, is her first ability. An AoE physical attack using defense as her attack stat, but AoE dispel buffs and debuffs. Dispelga in her kit that I do believe is in her W casting. Yes, it is. So, you know how much I love Dispel, so this is just really good that she has that kind of Dispel always available to her, yet she can also do something else in a turn. She has, then we get into just kind of her stat boosters. She has 130% stat boost for all the main stats, AoE for 3 turns, always available. One defense heals HP, Spirit heals MP, those are split over 3 turns though. Attack gives 150% limit burst fill rate, and so does magic. So, you know, there's some good utility in there. She has a natural, or a ability that is an AoE 2000 HP, 30 MP, heal right away. She has a damage reduction of 20% that also gives a 1000 HP barrier, and a 20% magic damage reduction. Okay, yeah, no, the 20% is just flat. All damage. 20% magic also gives a AoE 30 MP recovery, and the physical damage reduction gives a 3000 HP. So she has 3 damage reductions in her kit, and she can double cast. So that's actually pretty cool. She can give an AoE 100% light and ice resistance, as well as charm immunity for 3 turns. Did I misread that? I lost where I was looking. So that's pretty solid. Her cooldown, a 6-turn cooldown, available turn 1. AoE 3-turn plus 180% all stat buff. AoE 3-turn, 40% damage reduction. That's just pretty strong right there for surviving. She can do, but one of the more interesting things she can do is she can actually give killers versus demons or undeads. Again, demons tend to show up a fair bit. Undead, so-so, I feel like. Can't think of many off top of my head recently, but still pretty good. And she get ice element to a unit's attack. So Cafe Charlotte is pretty darn solid as a buffer. I mean, for something that you just go to a cafe, eat some food that is Final Fantasy themed, have a little fun with it, and you also get this unit as a 7-star with a good TMR. Get 2 of them and you'll get a super TMR that is really solid. That might have been too loud. Might have blown out the microphone, but oh well. I think that Cafe Charlotte is perfectly solid, really good TMR, really good super TMR. Hopefully she gets added to the gacha at a later date, because I think just some really solid stuff there. But those promo units are kind of like that. So that is basically them. If you're in Japan, definitely go check out the Square Enix Cafe from April 25th to, I believe it's about a 1-month time that it will be available, so you don't have to rush out day 1. But now we talk about Golden Week, and oh my god. Do I have nothing nice to say about Golden Week? Last year, I should say, I predicted that Golden Week would be just insane, absolutely amazing. Well, okay, this is listed as pre-Golden Week, but I still have very little hopes, and this, for pre-Golden Week, is trash. Absolute garbage. To start off, we are getting from the 22nd to April 30th, 5,000 Lapis, 2 times if you want, 11 pulls with 5% rainbow rates. Oh, that doesn't really matter worth a shit. Guaranteed random 5-star rainbow and a 50% trust removal and 10 level max king No. Let me tell you how I really feel about it. No! Don't get it. Don't spend your Lapis. Wait and see what Golden Week has. Especially the next Summon Festival. This is all trash. Skip it. And the other one is a special box, and I hate these even more than the 5,000 Lapis banner. Basically 300 Lapis for a regular summon ticket is trash, is garbage. Lapis is far more valuable than any of this. Don't get it, don't get it. Anyway, so that is to take a look at the, if you're a Cloud of Darkness fan, I really think that you're perfectly fine getting her. She has some really nice chaining partners. Cafe Charlotte is a great, solid, buffer support unit that'll probably be really nice. And she has Dispel in her kit. Really can't undersell that Dispel. And pre-Golden Week is trash. I guess we'll wait and see what Golden Week, and that will be announced probably during the live stream, I would imagine. As the live stream takes place on the 26th, which is basically the start of Golden Week. So, yeah. We'll hope for some good stuff there, but for now, that is all for my video, and I will come at you next. I will come back. Probably a faux pas there. Next video, we'll talk about my predictions for May. That was difficult. Anyway, see you next time.